Dear students, Epicurus, one of the greatest philosophers the world has seen, once stated, either God wants to abolish evil and cannot, or he can but he does not want to. If he wants to but cannot, then he is impotent. If he can but does not want to, he is wicked. If, as they say, God can abolish evil and God really wants to do it, why is there evil in the world? Now, this is a very pertinent question, and one of the hermits, Utanka, raises this question in front of Shri Krishna when they meet in the desert sands of Rajasthan after the war of Mahabharata is over. Utanka rather blames Shri Krishna of following devious means to achieve fruitful results in favor of the Pandavas. Now, the question that comes to forefront is how justified was Krishna's conduct during this great battle, this great war of Mahabharata? In Bhishma Parva, the epic lays down elaborate rules of warfare. It says, a person who fights with speech should only be opposed with speech during battle. One does not kill a person who has left the battlefield. A charioteer should only fight a charioteer, an elephant rider by elephant, a horseman against a cavalryman, an infantryman by infantry. One is allowed to strike another according to usage, heroism, power, and age by first calling out, but not at one who is not prepared or in trouble or fighting another, or is looking the other way, or without armor, or whose weapons are exhausted. One does not hit helpers, those who blow conches and beat drums. And yet we see the great warrior Arjuna striking Bhishma when the old man was engaged by Shikhandi. The old patriarch was rather following another rule of war, that is, not striking a woman. So, how justified is it to kill a man who has laid down his weapon? Guru Drona had complete faith in the truthfulness of Yudhishthira. And when he confirms that Ashwatthama is indeed dead, muttering, Iti Gaja, it is an elephant, under his breath, the grief stricken patriarch lays down his arms and is killed by Drishtadumman, who seizes the defenseless general by his hair and severs his head. Arjuna criticizes this conduct by his brother. We harmed our old guru, our benefactor, dishonorably for the sake of sovereignty. Another instance is the killing of Karna. Karna, while trying to lift the sunken wheel of his chariot, reminds Arjuna about the rules of war. He says, Arjun, the brave don't hit those who turn away their face, whose hair is undone, who seek protection, who put down their weapons, who are in difficulty, who are without arrows or armor, or whose weapon is broken. Since you are brave, O son of Kunti, have patience. Arjuna, as we know, wavered, but Krishna tells him, strike now, here is your chance. So here we have a large pantheon of the Kaurava warriors who were killed one after another by the Pandavas using guile, of course, at the behest of the great God, Shri Krishna. Duryodhana, while dying, stated, "Whose end is more admirable than mine? Who else could bring his life to a close with such nobility? I shall dwell in heaven with my brothers and friends." He asks Krishna, "Aren't you ashamed of striking me down so unfairly?" And Krishna replies, "This is the way it is." While the battle is over, he gives a very sobering message to the Pandavas. He says, "Listen, Pandavas, the Kauravas were great warriors, and you could not have defeated them in a fair fight. So I had to use deceit, trickery, and magic on your behalf. To defeat Duryodhana fairly was even beyond the messengers of death. So let us not get carried away by Bhim's heroics. We have succeeded. It is evening now. Let us go home and rest." But do the editors of the epic accept this justification? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Krishna dies the death of a commoner. He dies in a forest. He was hit by an arrow of a hunter. He didn't die the valiant death of a warrior in the battlefield, like, say, Karna or Duryodhana, for instance. At the same time, we must realize that Krishna's deceptions took place on the human stage, and they reflected the ambiguity of human psychology. So, had he acted some other way around, had he acted like a god, a perfect god, maybe the epic would have missed the point.